Hi guys, welcome back to the Blue Podcast Network. This is the 4th episode of the Chequered show, and as ever, I'm joined by Matt and Holly beside me to talk about all the racing action that happened in the past week, stories and all those headlines. Guys, how are we?
Yeah, good.
Doing?
Yeah, good.
So, should we get straight into it? Talk about Saudi Arabia. I think first place I want to start is Norris binning it in Q3.
I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
I felt really bad for him because he seemed so upset. I mean, obviously he's going to be, but yeah, that was harsh for him.
Yeah, for me, it just feels like a story of his season so far where he's trying to make those efforts to try and win the championship, and then he's kind of just let himself down. It's really disappointing to see because I want to see a title fight, and in a way, he's letting us down in that way.
Do you think he's overdriving it?
I think he's doing a little bit too much. I think how Verstappen and Piastri at the moment, they're driving so naturally. It's just all kind of coming off the cuff sort of thing. I think Norris is knowing that maybe he's under a little bit of pressure and he's trying to do a little bit more than what he should be. And with that, he upsets the car and then he puts it into the wall when he's starting P10. Good recovery drive to P4. For me, he should have got onto the podium at least, I think, if you're trying to go for a title.
Well,
but he did well with the
Yeah.
situation in front of him. And he couldn't get P3 in the end. He was close. But yeah, disappointing from Norris. Of course, Verstappen claimed pole as well. He's just eking every inch of performance out of that Red Bull. Even when that car is poor, he's doing so well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we've spoken about this before about how we can, he's just that type of driver. You could put him in any car and he should be able to do that. I mean, 4-time world champion, you would kind of expect that from him. But yeah, and then obviously the lap one incident, which he lost it. But I think, he's got to do that. He's got to try and take what he can from the car because it isn't a championship winning car. So he's got to try and do what he can, where he can.
Yeah. Let's talk about that incident on lap 1. Verstappen got a little bit of a poor start, didn't he, off the pole. Piastri kind of got ahead of him. He had the inside line, and then Verstappen he went off the runoff.
I'll be honest. I'm not the biggest Verstappen fan, but I do think it was very, very harsh.
Was it?
I think so because. I do think he should have just given the place back because that wouldn't have been as big as a 5-second penalty. Because I think without the penalty, if Piastri had just been allowed back ahead, then the race would have been really close the whole time.
Yeah.
But Verstappen just couldn't get back within him afterwards. But I think if he'd not had a 5-second penalty, then it would have been a lot closer. That's why I think it's harsh because he should have just given it back, but that was on him, I guess.
Yeah.
It was a pit stop penalty, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Which is that's not 5 seconds because you've got to go into the pits, you've got to drop down to that limit. You've then got to serve your 5 seconds, you've then got to then get out with the speed limit and get back on track. It's not a 5-second penalty, it's a 20-second penalty. But I do think, as you said, if he...
Anyway, though, but...
Yeah, but I feel like if he'd have given the place back, he wouldn't have had that problem. And most drivers obviously would have backed off. They would have seen, okay, Piastri's got this now. He's done it. But that's just not how Verstappen does it.
Yeah, we said this before, though, about his racecraft. People have said this a lot, that he's one of the quickest drivers on the grid, but his racecraft isn't there.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I think sometimes he makes questionable decisions, but I think he kind of steps over grey areas where there's no, when it's 2021 where... Was it Imola, Spain, where he pushed Luce wide? He had the inside, pushed Luce off. Same with Norris last year as well. But he kind of knows how to kind of find the grey area. And that incident for me, he's done that on Norris 2-3 times already. So why would he have ever thought that there was going to be, he was going to get away with that? And my thing, I saw someone say that if there was gravel there, rather than just the normal tarmac, he wouldn't have done that.
No.
He would never have done that.
It does raise a question about whether it should be gravel trap, but then I'd say that's kind of dangerous if you've got a gravel trap there.
No, I think they should have some sort of bollard. Like when we have go to Monza or other circuits, there's if you go to the skate road, you have to go past a bollard to enter back onto the circuit. We have it at Catalonia Turn 1 as well. So have something like that. But the only problem is that it's such a small space, is that you can't just allow, you can't make space for that because it's around the street circuit. There's not not enough space to do that.
Yeah, I think it's also such a short run into turn one as well, where like if they were to have anything else, like that could be quite dangerous because it does it doesn't catch people off guard, but I suppose it's such a tight space, as you said, it's so narrow, and then it's also such a short run. I feel like they can't do too much about that, but it's just then about the driver if they want to test it, if they want to then push it, and Verstappen is a kind of every man for himself driver, so he's gonna do that. But then he can't, turn around and be like, he pushed me off, he forced me off, because the stewards can see that. But
I think forced him off would be the wrong word, but I do think he could have given him slightly more space. I don't think he had to though, because he had it was his corner. Yeah. But I do also think Piastri did squeeze him a tiny bit more than he needed to. But any other driver probably would have backed off there.
Yeah, I think, as I said, like, is Piastri's on the inside, he's ahead, it's his corner. For me, he can dictate and do whatever he needs to do to keep that position. I think he had every right in that situation. So, as I said, Max has done it plenty of times himself. So he's kind of, it's sort of was it saying catch-22 situation? Is that the right?
Yeah, but for that, as well though, I think with Max, it's kind of, he needs to remember sometimes it's not a sprint, it's a marathon in all of these races.
Yeah, and then Luce went off.
You got to understand that if he slots in behind Piastri there, he's not in the lead straight away, but he's still got another 50 laps to try and get there.
The only thing
that's what he forgets. He's like, I need to be in the lead, but you don't have to be in it until you get to the checkered flag.
No, the only thing is though, it was the safety car was out like very quickly. So was there enough time for him to even give the space back? I don't know if Red Bull would have maybe argued that case as well.
Yeah, but why would you not give it back to him under the safety car or something? If you're clever, surely that's what you do.
I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if you can just do that.
Well, why did the FIA not just do that under the safety car? That's another thing. Could they not have said under the safety car, the fairest thing to do is swap the positions? Because you'd only had half a lap of racing.
Because with the swap cars, it's more down to the drivers and the team to sort that out. And if they don't sort it out, that's when the FIA step in and go, we've given you a chance to do something. And obviously, a couple of corners later, Gasly ended up in the wall with an incident with Yuki Tsunoda. After Gasly had a great weekend out in Bahrain, finishing P7, getting the first points for the Alpine team, a DNF. Tsunoda as well, crashing out again, crashing out as well.
I do think it was unfortunate. There just wasn't enough space.
Yeah, I don't think there's any particular blame you can put on both drivers. I think they were both. There's nothing much they could have done in that situation. So
I mean, we've had a safety car at the track every year. Yeah, there's always going to be an incident. It's such a tight track.
Yeah,
it's just a shame because obviously we want to see Yuki Tsunoda prove himself. This is the seat that he's always wanted. So like those little incidents and those little things that happen so early on in the race as well, you can't he's just kind of thrown that away. He could have got points. He could have, we just don't know what. No, I don't necessarily blame him for it, but I just think it's a shame because, as fans and as people, I really love Yuki and I want to see him do well. And I think he does deserve this seat. Those little things are just such a shame. But no, I don't think there's anyone really to blame. As we said, it's a really tight space and things like that do happen.
Yeah, especially on street circuit and Jeddah and all that stuff as well. What else happened in the race? It was a few weeks back now. What I was trying to think what else. Let me go over my own.
There wasn't much drama as such. I wouldn't say. I mean, Norris climbed well from P10. I thought.
Yeah, Norris. I think Norris did. I think Norris did well. I think his hope would maybe have been a podium at the end of it, but I think P4 looking at it was probably the best he could have done. Could have maybe got Leclerc at the end, maybe.
So Leclerc was decent.
I don't know, but Leclerc had good pace throughout the whole race, unlike Luce in the race. We'll get onto him a little bit later.
You're trying to put it off for as long as possible.
Yeah. I'll just put it down there. But yeah, and something else with the that one incident as well. I can't remember who it was. They did the exact same thing a couple of laps later, like some point during the race, and they got a 10-second penalty for it. Was it Lawson?
Got one, I think.
Was it Lawson? I think it was. But I think the explanation of that is because where it was lap one, they're more lenient with it.
Yeah.
So that's why they gave the 5 second, which I found when Lawson got that penalty, I was thinking
10 seconds.
Why was that 10 seconds? But I think it's the case of if you give a 5 second, they can easily just make up the 5 seconds. But if you do 10 seconds, it's much harder to.
Don't know. I think it's harsh
to do that.
Yeah, something like that is harsh. No, a 10-second penalty is like you've done something
That's
wrong.
I remember back in the day, there used to be
race.
like drive-through penalties and stuff like that.
Drive-through penalties should only be for jumping the start, in my opinion, and even that's harsh.
Yeah. Did someone jump? What race with
Norris?
Norris. It's always Norris.
That wasn't. That was Bahrain.
Yeah.
Or the one before, wherever the one before this one was.
Yeah, I think it might have been Bahrain.
Yeah, it was, because he had no need to do it as well, because he still got a good start, so he would have still. Also, he didn't jump it; he was just ahead of his box.
Yeah. Should we get straight into it? Obviously, Piastri won the race.
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on his chances at winning the World Championship?
I think I'm backing him.
Yeah.
I think he's my obvious one at the moment. He's driving that car really well. He looks confident. He's not in his own head, at least not at the moment. He's not.
No.
And he seems to have more pace than Norris at the moment in the quickest car. So all you've got to do when you've got the quickest car is beat your teammate, and so far he's doing that.
Yeah. I think we've just got to hope that. I mean, we've said this before about McLaren and the team now need to choose who they're going to prioritise going into races, because we did say this last time about if Piastri does overtake Norris, what happens then? Who is McLaren? Are they going to pick a first driver? Are they going to keep them both the same?
Well, hasn't it?
And that's what I mean. So he's now overtaken him. So we're now going to see if McLaren maybe shuffle their priorities a bit. We'll have to see.
I don't think they will yet.
I think they're going to try and keep it first driver, because they do. Norris and Piastri are good at just racing, and they're both quite clean. So I think they don't really need to pick one yet. I think if there's like a big crash, or if they have a massive incident, then that's when they're probably going to have to choose.
See it happening at some
I'm
point.
surprised though.
If they don't pick one, I see that happening at some point.
I'm surprised. Like, they've been teammates for 3 years and they haven't really had like an incident together. Normally teammates would have that.
I don't know. I feel like they are clean drivers, and they're both. Yeah. I'd say both of them are two of the best battlers on the grid. Like, in terms of actual racecraft and gaining positions and fighting cleanly, they're two of the best on the grid at that.
Yeah.
They don't tend to have. When was the last time you saw Norris or Piastri make contact with anyone?
Yeah, I think
I can't think.
And that's the thing,
when
Norris crashed in qualifying, I was thinking to myself, when was the last time Norris crashed the car like that?
It's a bit like Luce. You never expect Luce to crash.
You never see it from Luce. You never see it from Fernando. You never see it from Max. You never see it from those drivers. So when he crashed on that, that's very strange.
I think that's why he was so sad. Because it's just
it's just Norris is. Yeah, he doesn't really make that many mistakes as such. But I'm surprised that they haven't had it. Maybe it's because like they haven't been in a situation where they're actually fighting for titles, fighting for wins. So they haven't had that. It doesn't really matter because they're fighting over P5 and P6. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So maybe that's why. I do feel like at some point this season there will be something. I want there to be something, because I want there to be a bit of like fuel to the fire to this championship, even if it's with Max as well. I just want to see how, because obviously Piastri, he's been so confident his whole career so far. I want to see someone push him and kind of push him to the edge in that way, and see if he even kind of just like switches in that way. Because I'm sure if Max can get under his skin, if Red Bull can produce a car that can win the championship and stuff. But I'm interested to see like how his character can develop as the season goes on, because you normally find that, remember with Max, when he won his first title, in his final couple of races, I think he was a little bit kind of panicky, or felt the pressure a little bit. I don't think he feels pressure, but I feel like he felt a little bit, and you can kind of see that way he was driving. But as for him, Piastri's driving flawlessly right now. I think to say anyone's but him is going to win the championship, I think you'll probably be silly to say that. But as we was chatting earlier, that it just takes one upgrade, one moment to just change the championship around. Ferrari. This time last year we was thinking Red Bull was going to run away with it. We're saying the exact same now with McLaren. Was it McLaren last year at Miami brought upgrades, and then
that's when they
won the race, and then
that was the first win, wasn't it?
Yeah,
his first win as well. So it takes those little moments to kind of change a season. Should we go on to the Ferraris then? I think this is a perfect opportunity for the Ferraris. Leclerc, impressive from him, P3 in that Ferrari. I think he's driving really well at the moment. He's getting the maximum out of the car. I think we know the quality of Charles Leclerc anyway.
How quick do you think the car is? Because I'm very undecided. My mind keeps changing because I can't work out if it's a quick car that they're not getting the most out of, or whether it's a slow car and Leclerc's just overdriving it.
I think Leclerc's getting a little bit more out of the car than what the car actually is. I just don't think the car's that quick. I just don't feel there's a particular characteristic to that car that is like better than anyone else.
I think it's slower or faster than Mercedes.
I think the Mercedes is faster. I think
so too.
Yeah, I think it is hard because you've got such a quick McLaren. You've then got like everything has kind of moved around a little bit. So I think it's hard. Ferraris, it's always like, where are they sitting? Because I'm the same. I can't make up my mind. But I do think that it's hard as well when you bring in a new driver like Hamilton who isn't used to it. And then he's maybe not performing well. Is it like, okay, is that because he's not used to the team? Or is it because the car is rubbish? So it's hard to kind of pinpoint it. But I think seeing Leclerc get, P3 in these, it's like, okay, maybe the car isn't that bad.
But it's a decent car. I think it's good. It's like a championship winning car.
No. But yeah, I just, even like Lewis qualifying was quite poor. He was 0.6 off his teammate, which doesn't matter what experience you have in the sport or whatever, you should not be 0.6 off your teammate in qualifying.
Do you think he's got the pace anymore?
I think he still has the pace, of course. I just think he's lacking confidence. I think he's lacking that little bit of sharpness. I think we saw what he could do in China, where he got the sprint pole and he won the sprint. But whether he can do that on a consistent basis, I'm not slightly sure at the moment. As well. Yeah, I think he's won there the most of anyone. I think.
My one thought though is, I feel like if he was still in that Mercedes alongside Russell, I feel like Russell would still be outperforming him. They'd probably be around where Antonelli is, which isn't bad.
I do wonder how Lewis would have performed in that Mercedes, because I said I believe Mercedes is slightly faster than that Ferrari. How would he have done there? But I think at this moment in time, Russell is very, very fast. I do feel like in 2024, Russell did beat Hamilton fair and square.
That's the thing. I just feel like I don't know if he's got world champion pace at the moment.
Because my thing is that when Russell went into the Mercedes, we already knew that he was very good at qualifying, very good, and he absolutely battered Lewis in qualifying last year. And for me, Leclerc is a better driver in qualifying than Russell is, and Russell is a great driver. So that was always a concern, and we're seeing that already. In the race, Hamilton's able to make up a little bit, and we're even seeing Fernando Alonso as well struggling a little bit more in qualifying now and doing better in the races.
How long do you think Hamilton stays? Do you think he sees out his contract completely?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously he goes into 26. I think that's like an obvious thing. But I just think Lewis is not there if he's not going to be winning championships. That's why he's left Mercedes, because he didn't feel like they were going to do that. So that's why he's left, and he's open to do that. But you're doing that with Charles Leclerc, who is very fast right now. He's probably driving the quickest he's ever has.
He's only going to get better though, because he's young.
Yeah, that's the thing. The confidence, like you saw it from Russell, like the confidence of, because Russell moving to Mercedes in the first place, his job was basically, as long as you just beat Lewis, you're good. But the fact that he was beating him consistently with Charles Leclerc, that's going to do him the world of good. Having a driver like Hamilton alongside you isn't going to be too bad for your career development as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with Hamilton was the confidence knock. But it's like, how long do you give it? Because he's now moved to a different team. Then I suppose to get that confidence back, you need to have a car that you're confident in, and a teammate that you're confident in beating. Like it all comes into play, but I think he's still struggling with that confidence knock.
Yeah.
But it's like
2021 just ruined
him. And then obviously going into 2022, the car, the Mercedes had so many problems. It was just all downhill from there. So I think he's obviously trying to get that confidence back. But how long do you leave it? Especially because there are so many young drivers. If Behrman does really well and he starts performing really well, or if other drivers start coming in and performing really well, how long do Ferrari give it? I think Vasseur came out and said that he does believe in Hamilton, and he says he wants him to stick it out, and he does obviously. I mean, it's Lewis Hamilton. They're going to give him a chance.
Yeah, you have to back your driver as well.
Yeah. But I think, how long do they give it?
Yeah, because I don't like the excuse of, like, for me, how long do I give it until Lewis is always saying, I'm still adjusting the car here, the brakes are different on this car compared to the Mercedes, the engine, the buttons on the steering wheel. But for me, how long does it take for that to not be an excuse anymore, because I don't like using excuses for that. And I'm a massive Lewis Hamilton fan, but I'm gonna be honest when I need to be. How long does that give? Because even Sainz now as well, in that Williams, he took us. It was a little bit slow adapting to that car, but he's looking very good now.
Yeah.
And stuff. And for me, like I've said this in the past, is that like Charles Leclerc and Sainz was probably the best driver lineup on the grid. Maybe have they got that wrong in a way? We have to still see. But like I think there will be questions around that where, they should have kept Sainz.
Yeah, I don't see. You're not going to understand this. I don't see Lewis winning another championship. I think if next season Ferrari were to put together a car that was miles faster than any other car, I think Leclerc would win it.
Yeah, I just think he's just fast at the minute. I think obviously if Hamilton can find his groove, he's the quickest guy out there. I still believe that. But whether he can actually do that, I'm not sure. You
don't lose ability.
No,
it's sharpness really. But
yeah.
As I said, I think 2021, like that whole thing in Abu Dhabi, just ever since then, he's not been the same, like confidence-wise, and just he's just not been as there. I think he lost a lot of trust in the sport that day as well. I think.
Yeah. Which you would, if it's snatched away at you in that sort of circumstance. So, yeah, I hope I see Lewis win again, and that's the hope. I hope to see him win championships and dominate for Formula 1 for years to come and stuff. But at the moment, Leclerc looks like he has one over him at the moment. And we're just going to have to wait and see how that kind of pans out. Hopefully Miami, he can, a sprint weekend, he obviously won the last sprint in China, so who knows?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, in terms of championships, he kind of has nothing to lose. Like that Mercedes was just not serving him anymore. Like he couldn't extract anything else out of it. So yeah, he is going to go to another team. And if he doesn't get another championship, I don't think, I mean, you guys can tell me your opinions, but I don't think it will impact his career or the opinion around his career. People are going to still see him as an amazing driver. So I don't think it's necessarily, so I don't think it's going to impact him too much. So it kind of makes sense, this move and him trying it just to see if he can extract anything. And then if he can't, he goes and he does something else or he retires. Like, it's not the end of the world.
Similar to Schumacher in a way. When he went to Mercedes, no one really talks about his Mercedes years. They always just focus on his championship that he's won. I do agree though. I think it's more the case of, as a fan, I just want to see him win the 8th because he was supposed to win the 8th a couple of years ago. I just want to see that 8. So yeah, that's the whole reason why I just want to see that 8. I just want to see him have that championship. But then it's the argument, well, we should have 9 and stuff like that. You know, I think I saw something where Hamilton is something like, if he scored 11 more points in his career, he would have like 2 or 3 more world championships or something like that.
Really? Wow.
Because I think he was a point off.
He missed the first one by a point.
He was off by a point in his first one. Was it 2010? He didn't miss out by that much. He was stuck behind, was it like a Renault or something like that, like throughout the whole race in Abu Dhabi and stuff. Rosberg was 5 points.
Who won in 2010?
Vettel.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was when Red Bull were really good.
Yeah, Vettel didn't lead the championship at any point in that season.
Of course, I should have remembered
until he won the championship, which I think is incredible. Even 2016, Hamilton lost the championship by 5 points in that race. Yeah, fingers are crossed. Please, I want to see Lewis winning again, but
I don't think he will though. Like,
no.
I don't think he will. I don't think he wins another championship.
As I said before, day by day, I do believe that he won't win the championship.
But he's still the best driver that probably there has ever been in F1.
Of course.
But I don't see him winning again.
No.
It's about the car at the end of the day as well, and if he doesn't gel with it, you know, you can still be an amazing driver, but if he doesn't have confidence in the car, and then when you're up against Charles Leclerc, it's hard. And then if it does come round to it, let's just say McLaren bringing up upgrades, they're rubbish, Red Bull doesn't do great, and then they're up there with Mercedes. It's like, I think even then Mercedes will still have the edge. They have a lot of people to push through in the next couple of years and a lot of teams to be battling against. Are they gonna be able to do it? So I don't know.
No, I say there's so many strong drivers around now.
Yeah.
And like even look at Behrman, Hadjar. I've done really well this season. Bortoletto's still there. You know, Leclerc, Russell. Norris, Piastri. There's so many talented drivers out there.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess let's just wait and see what 26 can hold. Does Aston Martin go and produce a good car? Does Ferrari, you know, new engines and all that stuff like that?
I don't think Aston Martin can go though from being where they are to being a world championship winning car though. They might be able to produce with Newey. They might be able to.
Adrian Newey's a god though. He delivered goods.
Produce a car that's like top 3, but I don't see them having the fastest car on the grid.
Can I ask what are your guys' thoughts on the whole Max? Because I think before Saudi Arabia he was linked to there's a load of linking him to Aston Martin. I just
He won't go there.
I think why would he go to Aston Martin? He would go there at 26, and in the back of his mind he would be like, well, what about the Red Bull? Is the Red Bull going to be fast as well? I don't know why he would do that.
It's kind of opposite of what we were saying to Lewis. Lewis can afford to take the risk because he's already won the titles. If Max still wants to win more, he needs to get himself in the quickest car. So why take the risk when you don't know yet?
Yeah, no, yeah. There's but I guess for Max, I think he said before, like he won his first. The next however many he wins, he's just.
I don't think he wants to. I'm sure that there is a part of him that obviously wants to beat Hamilton and get the most. Well, like you would as a driver, you want to get the most world championships ever. But I don't think that's his priority. I genuinely don't. I think he is different. He has a different mentality of just being like, I just want to race. So if he can race in that Red Bull and he can still fight, he's going to stay there. I don't think he really cares too much about whether he gets another championship. I think if he was to then go to Aston Martin, like, it would be a great statement. If he can then extract something out of that car, like, that will be such a statement. But is that what he wants? I think he just wants to race and fight.
Yeah, he's a racer. Like even in his spare time, he does all the sim racing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, there were rumours that he was going to retire after the first one because he didn't care about winning another one. He kind of came in to win a world championship and then go and do another form of racing. But then obviously he stayed because he likes the sport and he wants to race in it. But he doesn't care. I think you're right. He doesn't care about what he wins, but he obviously wants to be in a quick class though because you still want to win races. Like it's in your mentality. If you're a racing driver, you just want to win.
That's the thing. I think his contract ends in like 28 at Red Bull. I think.
We'll
so I could very much see him just staying to 28, and he goes and does IndyCar. He goes and does because I feel like he would just do that. He would just go and race in any competition possible.
I think he's mentioned IndyCar before, and I would love to see him in Indy.
I'd love to.
I think he'd want the Triple Crown probably. Something he'd want.
Only Graham Hill has ever done that.
He probably but I reckon he's.
He could definitely do it. I'd love to see that. But I'm so excited because I think IndyCar is literally like this time, like next month. And I watched it for the first time last year. Oh,
it is good. A lot of people
so good.
I feel like they overlook IndyCar. And it's kind of people push it aside.
There's so many there's so many ex-Formula 1 drivers that have gone over there. Marcus Ericsson.
I don't watch it. I don't watch it much.
No, I don't pay too much attention, but when I do tune in, it is good.
We should do a little bit in the podcast for the Indy 500. As well. It's on Sky if you've got. So
I don't know when it is.
It is sick. I watched it last year and I was like, it was delayed by like 4 hours and like because I think there was like a load of rain.
Yeah.
And it just I think. Who won it? I think was it Newgarden or I can't remember who won it. He just won it on the last lap, overtook Palou, and it was like, it was sick. Like one of my favorite like racing like events. Like
I want to watch as much of the 24 hours of Le Mans as I can this year.
My brother loves.
I'm going to watch as much of it as I can.
Yeah. I really want to go. My dad goes every year, and I want to go so bad.
Yeah. You know, I want to go to Le Mans. I'm going to go IndyCar. I think I checked tickets for the Sunday race. It was like £135 for like grandstand by the pit straight. Which isn't bad when you consider the prices to go to Silverstone. I think Silverstone's like $400-500.
Shall we look at Miami now?
Miami, yeah. Well, first thing is first I want to say about Miami is apparently Cadillac are going to be doing some sort of event there or something like that.
I didn't know about this.
You said about this. Neither of us.
Yeah. I
kind of saw it like this morning. So there's already like rumours of he's like Perez going to be there because he's linked to the team and things like that. What they're going to reveal, they're going to do some sort of livery launch. I'm not quite sure exactly what they're going to do
because I didn't get anything this early, like major.
I think it's probably just going to be a bit of a like. Miami is such a party place, isn't it? And it's such a place to do like a launch party or like I think it's probably just going to be them celebrating that they're coming in. But I don't know.
With Miami, it's I think there's a lot of population of Mexicans in the country and stuff, I believe. So with Perez, announced that in a way.
Yeah.
Why don't they announce it at the Mexican Grand Prix? Oh, that'd be good. That would be sick. That would be sick. If you want the idea, it's mine. You can't nick it.
Or pay him for it.
I've trademarked it. You can't use it.
Pay him for it.
Yeah, pay me. And then you pay me more than I would on my actual job. I'm perfectly fine with it. But yeah, so that kind of talk is going to be around the weekend. We've been over our predictions for the driver's seat and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of they do there and stuff. But of course, Miami's a sprint weekend. God damn it. But here we are. It's growing me. Sprint races are growing on me. I was always someone that I was always someone that was like, I was like, get rid of it, because I'm very much a purist. I don't like change at all. But like, it's growing on me in a way.
Yeah, I think it kind of gives something different, doesn't it? I think watching 3 free practice sessions every race or every race weekend it can be like, not really much happens. Yeah. So I like that it just provides something a bit different. And it allows for some different winners, some different strategies. Like, it is interesting, but I think maybe something needs to change with it. Yeah. Some things still need changing, but I do like it. I think if it was to come in for like every weekend or more weekends, I wouldn't like it. I think we're at a comfortable place with how many they've got. I wouldn't want them to do any more.
Also, we don't go to many races between us, but I think if you went to every single race, then they'd be quite exciting. Much more than a practice session. Like if you were to go every race weekend, you'd much more enjoy the sprint ones because you're watching 2 races. I remember a few years ago I went to Silverstone when there was a sprint race. I think there was a sprint race at least. Was there one at Silverstone one year?
21.
Yeah, I went that year, and the sprint was really exciting. Like, I remember thinking, this is great.
Wait, you went to 2021? So
yeah.
You actually went there?
Yeah.
When did you sit?
I was sat at Club, last corner.
Oh, okay. No, I've been there before. I sat like Maggots and Beckett's and stuff. I want to sit at Cops. Cops corner is one of my favourite corners. Like,
I was there that year, and the sprint race was just so exciting. Because also I watched it from a different grandstand, because you can get 2 different perspectives then, because obviously less people go on the Saturday. So I went and sat like near Village, like the first few turns, and I could see them all come out of the first turn. Like, that was much more exciting for the sprint race.
No, yeah. My opinion changed. Let's say it gets people to go there on the Friday as well. Yeah. So Friday, you get to go there for the full weekend and things, rather than just going just Saturday and Sunday.
I think for crowd is definitely better. I don't know about for TV audience, but
yeah, I think it's more of an atmosphere there, isn't it?
And that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to make Formula 1 more of, rather than you're just there for the racing, more just around that. You know, you've got all like the concerts around it and all that stuff as well. You know, we wanted to make it like worth the fans actually going and paying their money and stuff. But while you do that, you're hiking up the prices of tickets and to go and see Beyonce perform in Miami or whatever. Like, for me, I wouldn't care for it. I just go for it.
Big Beyonce fan?
I couldn't care less. I'll be
no, I do remember when Miami first came in 2022, and me and my dad sat down and watched it, and we were just like, oh goodness. I was like, this is it now, isn't it? It's like, I feel like it's always been a big spectacle. It's always been a big show. There's always been music. There's always been, and that's one thing I do really love about it. But I remember, I think will.i.am was there, and they had like cheerleaders, and they had this crazy, and it was like, oh my gosh.
Even the podium as well. Even the podium, was it? Did it have like the baseball, the American football caps or something like that? They had like fancy cars.
Yeah, they did it. Because the podium's like kind of on the Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah.
So they had to take them in cars, like these fancy cars.
I still find it just ridiculous. Just go on the podium, spray your champagne, and kill off. Like, that's how I see it.
God, it's traditionalist.
The one thing I want, which I like, do you know when they had the Wreaths that they used to?
I
think the winner, instead of getting the medal, do you know the winner gets the FIA medal? They should get the wreath. I think they should do that. Bring it back.
That's another thing.
Trademark.
Yeah, I trade. No, it's already been done anyway. I can't trademark it.
Go make a book. Gosh.
But yeah, so I'm excited for this weekend as always. Obviously we expect McLaren to be the fastest.
Yeah.
I guess Red Bull.
You can't really bet against them at the moment, can you?
No. And I guess I don't think the Red Bull will be doing too badly. I think they do well at like kind of the high speed sorts tracks and where there's like a lot of straights in a way, because they have the best power unit on the grid. The first sector is very technical. They'll do well there, and you've got the long straights. McLarens might struggle with that with the straight line speed.
Maybe.
But they were fine there last year. They won the race. So it's going to be interesting, of course, see if what Ferrari and Mercedes can do in there as well. And yeah, should we get into our predictions from Miami? Let me go over the ones for Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah.
I feel like there were some bad ones in here.
No, I think.
No, we actually.
I think we did alright.
I think we actually did like.
I don't know how Ethan did.
Yeah, with Ocon.
Yeah,
Ocon winning.
What is it?
Ocon spinning out or qualifying and then winning the race.
I swear he had like the most kind of like nothing race ever as well. Like literally just kind of in the midfield doing nothing.
I mean.
Right. So, pole position was Max Verstappen.
I said that, I think, didn't I?
And you said Verstappen.
Was I the only one? I swear someone else said
as
well.
Oh, we both said, because we basically copied each other for.
Yeah, we had the exact same.
So.
I think I also said I got the podium one.
I think you got so right. So you got the pole right. Winner was Piastri. I got that right. You got that right.
Well, I did.
Yeah. All of us got it right. All of us got it right. Ethan didn't. He said Russell to win. That didn't happen, did it? Second place was Verstappen. I predicted Russell to finish second. You got Verstappen second.
Look at this.
And then, we did the same.
I think I put Norris third, though, didn't I?
You put Norris third, and obviously it was Leclerc. None of us got that right.
You were not far off.
You did well.
All. You almost got a full house.
You got pole first and second.
Do you know what?
And
as well?
also Norris wasn't far off from
third.
Yeah. He was fourth.
I might be making this up completely. It might be complete waffle, but I think if you go back and watch that video, I think I said Leclerc might finish third, but I'm going to go for Norris. So I think I said like it might be Leclerc or Norris.
Oh,
Shall we play the clip?
I might be wrong.
We're gonna have to watch that after this. Oh my gosh.
Wow. So with that, let's go to first pit stop. Luckily, I don't have to go back through the race. On the Formula One website, they actually put when like the drivers actually pit in. So I think I saw that.
Who was it?
The first driver to pit. So technically, so Derwin was the first to pit.
It was technically Tsunoda.
It was only he was he didn't pit. He crashed.
Oh no, sorry, not Tsunoda. Someone came in the pit with damage. I thought. And
Derwin, Ocon, and Bortolo pitted on the same lap, but because Derwin was ahead of both two cars, he technically pitted first. And also the Alpine pit garage is ahead of all the others as well. So he would have actually changed his tyres physically quicker then. Right. So Derwin.
Did anyone say that?
No one did. But Ethan said Ocon, and Ocon was second.
Oh, so, wow. That's the one thing he got from this whole thing.
So we could give him pity points for that. You said Behrman, Matt. Holly, you said Antonelli. And I said Gasly. And Gasly crashed.
Well.
So in a way.
Can't we walk back to the pits first?
And the driver of the day was the prediction.
I remember who I said.
I said Piastri. You said Antonelli, and you said Tsunoda.
Well, it wasn't Tsunoda, was it?
So it literally got worse as it got around.
Who was it?
And because Ethan said Ocon to pit first, and he also said driver of the day for Ocon as well.
Who got it?
It was Verstappen.
Verstappen got driver of the day.
Oh.
I feel like everyone's getting driver of the day. I feel like by the end of the season, everyone will have a driver of the day.
Yeah.
Is that all the predictions?
Yeah. So I think you at some point, because I've done my assignments now, I'll actually add up all the points, and we can actually have a proper championship with it and stuff. Shall we get into the Miami predictions? So we've got pole, first, second. First to retire, and second fastest pit stop.
Second fastest
driver.
So are we doing sprint as well, or are we not doing the sprint?
So for sprint, we do just who gets first in the sprint shootout, and then first in the actual thing.
Right. So what's the first thing we need to say?
Pole.
Pole for sprint or pole for Grand Prix?
Right. Let's do the sprint first. Pole for sprint.
Pole for sprint. Okay. Oh.
Norris.
I'm going for Verstappen.
I'm going Piastri.
All different. Watch it be none of them.
Yeah.
As well.
Ocon.
First, who's going to win the sprint race? I'll say Max. I think Max will hold on.
I'm gonna say Hamilton.
George Russell.
Huh? What is he starting second or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Hamilton. I'm gonna go interesting because I go boring every time.
I'm saying Russell. They're gonna bring an upgrade and they're gonna win the sprint race.
So we've gone Hamilton, Russell, and Verstappen.
We've both gone rogue here.
Wow. I wonder how the podium's gonna be for the race. It's all gonna be different. So who do you think's gonna? Who'll be saying pole position for the actual race for Sunday's Grand Prix?
Say Norris again. He's doing both.
Oh.
I was gonna go Norris as well, to be on pole.
I'll stick with Piastri.
Piastri, yes, okay. Who's going to win the race in your opinion? I think I'm gonna say Norris wins.
Piastri, I'm going with.
Piastri wins.
Yeah, Piastri.
I'm back in Norris. I think he won there last year. He had that confidence. Like, yeah, I did this before. I think like he's had a couple of weeks off to kind of chill a bit. I think Norris will do it. Come on, Norris, please give us a championship, please. Second. Norris second.
I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna say Antonelli.
Antonelli second.
I want to see him on a
podium. Wow.
I'm gonna see him on. I want to see him on a podium, and I think. I don't know. I feel
crazy.
it. I want to see him.
The thing is, though, if he's on the podium, he can't drink technically because like he's underage.
What do they use then? Just like fizzy water.
Well, they normally use rose water in the countries where like you can't drink alcohol in public. Then they'll use rose water.
So they'll use rose water.
But they
wouldn't have that. They wouldn't have that backed up for like Antonelli. They wouldn't just carry around. He's 21 in America, isn't it? So. Like, and that's the thing is, for the next like 2 years, he's gonna have that problem, and he's surely gonna be on the podium in the US because of 3 Grand Prix in the next 2 years.
And he's quick.
So, like, well,
P3 then is next, isn't it?
Wait, did I say P? Did I say?
You said P2. You said. Oh no, you didn't say P2.
No, I'm going Piastri.
Did you not say him to win?
Yeah, you said Norris to
win. Piastri to be second. Third place.
I'm going to say Russell. I think he's been consistent all year.
Right, I'm going Hamilton. Why not?
I'm going to go Norris.
Hamilton. Just a hope. I need that hope in my life. First retirement.
He's such a rogue one.
Oh dear. Let's go Sainz.
Did I say Max on the podium?
Who did you say?
I've
already forgotten.
You said
Piastri, Norris.
Piastri, Norris, and
Russell. No, Max is going to be first to retire.
Oh, okay.
Something's going to happen to him. I don't know what. Something's going to happen.
I'm going Leclerc. Why not?
Okay. Interesting.
No, just Leclerc. Who are you going with?
I'm going to go for Sainz.
Okay, cool. Final one. Second fastest pit stop. Driver, by the way.
Which is so rogue. This is so.
I was thinking about doing first, but I thought, let's do second.
Second fastest pit stop.
Tsunoda, because Red Bull. My logic is Red Bull have the fastest pit stops.
Yeah.
So saying one of the Red Bull drivers
not by the
is
stats.
Safe.
Ferrari have been top pretty much a lot of the season.
Well, I'm saying Red Bull are consistent over the last 15 years, so they've always been up there. So I'm going to say Red Bull.
Okay. But for second.
Tsunoda, yeah.
So they're going to be the second. Okay.
Yeah, Tsunoda.
All right.
I'm saying Max is going to crash or something.
I'm gonna say Norris. I think McLaren will be the second.
Okay. I'm gonna go Antonelli.
That's a rogue one.
Mercedes aren't.
I was looking earlier, and some of the maybe I shouldn't look or anything, but I've seen like Russell was there was second like once or twice, or Antonelli and stuff.
Okay.
It's normally Ferrari have been topped quite a lot, and they've been 1-2 as well. And that's the only 1-2 I've had all year. It's quite sad. Yeah.
It's everything, isn't it?
Final thoughts?
Well, I did have something else.
Oh, do you?
Speaking of Antonelli, just a cute little segue. The documentary that I was saying about earlier. So apparently, Antonelli is getting a documentary on Netflix.
Is he?
Yeah.
Has he got a documentary for like Hamilton, Verstappen, Alonso, and all these guys?
So I don't know. I think they're trying to do it. I can't remember what they said. I don't know if they've announced a name for it yet, but I'm pretty sure they're centering it around him taking like the biggest driver swap ever, and taking Lewis Hamilton's seat and all of this. But I don't know what is it going to be like. Drive to Survive style, like following him around, or is it going to be about? Literally no clue.
I wonder
but
if it'll be like the football ones that Netflix have done, where they follow a team around and stuff. They'll follow him around. I mean, they're doing one. They've done one this season with Jamie Vardy at Leicester. So I wonder if it'll be similar to that. I don't. That hasn't come out yet, but when that comes out, I'll see what that looks like, and then maybe it'll be like that. They'll follow him around, see how he does in the team, and
I reckon they'll do stuff like he's like his family life and whatever.
Yeah, there'll be less drama than Drive to Survive.
And stuff like that. So it'll be like I think it'll be like a proper documentary, which I'll actually watch.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
So I think that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. But I also see on Sky there's they've got a new documentary. They've done a Senna documentary, a Mansell, a Stewart one. They've got another driver, Damon Hill. They've got a Damon Hill documentary out as well, which I want to watch.
Very nice.
But yeah. But that's going to do it for the 4th episode of The Chequered Show. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, share. Spotify as well. We're on there. TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.